Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Washington, Iowa. What a privilege it is to be here today. On behalf of the UP Home and Steffes and Joe McConnell and everybody that's helped us get to where we're at today, we very, very much appreciate all the effort, and as well as you folks in the room, of all the effort that you put in and the due diligence to get here. So without further ado, we are ready to get started. We are Steffes Group, and we welcome you here to the Dallmeyer Hall in Washington, Iowa. So it is 10 o'clock. We are ready to get started. For the record, I want to welcome the internet crowd and those listening, and you can follow along with me as far as the provisions go. Introductions today, we'll start, obviously, Joe McConnell's in front of me, and he has the paperwork available if anybody'd like to review that. We've got Nate Larson and Mason. They're around here. They're your sale managers, and if you called in, you probably talked to one or both of those. Over here to my right, your left, Chris Richard. We've been together a long, long time, haven't we, Chris? And appreciate all of his efforts. Besides me is Casey McGregor. She's going to help with the paperwork when we get done here today. And my name is Tim Meyer, and I am your auctioneer today. So follow along with me here. All the information is on your table today. The multiplier today is 80 acres. It's 80 even, 80.00 acres, and we invite you to come along. So for the record, it is Friday, September 17th. It is 2021. We are here in Dallmeyer Hall in Washington, Iowa. We're ready to sell 80 acres located in Section 8 of Franklin Township, Washington County, Iowa. This tract sells in one tract, and it has a CSR of 84.7 on the tillable. There's 79.3 acres that FSA indicates as tillable. Terms today are 10% down payment. That down payment goes into, Joe's that going to your account today? Into Joe McConnell's account, and obviously that would be September 17th, 2021. The balance is due with a final settlement and projected date of November 1st, 2021 upon delivery of mercantile abstract and deed, of course, when all objections have been met. Possession is a projected date of November the 1st, subject to tenant's rights on the tillable land. And the balance will be due, obviously, at possession, subject to tenant's rights, November 1st of 2021. The real estate tax will be prorated to the day of possession based on the last available tax statement. The seller shall pay any unpaid real estate taxes payable in prior years. The following taxes are approximate and will be used to prorated closing, and on those tax parcels, which end in 001 and 002, $2,660. Provisions today. The seller's third termination to the tenant, and the land is selling free and clear for the 22 farming season. It shall be the obligation of the buyer to report to the Washington County FSA office to show a file deed in order to receive the following if applicable: the allotted base acres, any future government programs. Bidding on the farm will be by the deeded acre, and again, that is 80.00 acres. The seller shall not be obligated to furnish a survey. Purchasers unable to close due to insufficient funds or otherwise will be in default. The deposit money will be forfeited. The buyer shall be responsible for any fencing in accordance with the Iowa state law. The buyer shall be responsible for installing his or her own entrances if needed or desired. If in the future site cleanup is required, it shall be at the expense of the buyer. All mineral rights, if any, held by the seller will be transferred to the buyer upon closing. This real estate is selling subject to any and all covenants, restrictions, encroachments, and easements, as well as all applicable zoning laws. The buyer acknowledges that they have carefully and thoroughly inspected the real estate and is familiar with the premises. The buyer is buying this real estate in its as-is condition, and there are no express or implied warranties pertaining to the same. Steffes Group represents the seller in this transaction, and that is all that I have. Is there anything more? Joe, do you have anything? Nate, Mason, we're ready to go? I think we're ready to go. Again, the multiplier today, 80.00 acres, and I think we're ready to have an auction. Here we go. 80 bet right here in the $120, $10. 20, 20, 20, 10, 20, 20, 20, 8, 20, 10, 20, 20, 20. Where you want to be, Nate? 5,000, 6,000, let's go. 8, 9, 6, 7, 7, 10, 7, 7, 6, 7, 10, to buy. 8, 6, 7, 7, 7,000, 6, 7, no, 8, 8, 8,000, 8, 8, 10, 8, 8, 9, 8, 9,000, 9, bid 10, 10, 11, 10, bid 11,000, 11, bid 12, 13, 13, 13, 10, 12, 13, 13, 12, you're all out. 12, 13, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, Chris is in. 16, give me 16 pie. It's 16 bit of pie, but I got $16,500 pie. It's 16 bit of pie, but I got 16 bit of pie, but I got 16 bit of pie. It's 16 bit pie, but I got $16,500 pie. It's 16 bit of pie, but I got now 17 bit 17. Nate's in 17, $17,000, 17 bit of 17, 16 5, 17, 16 5, but I got now $17,000, 17 bit of 17, 16 5, but I got now 17 to buy, 16 5, but I got now 17,000. It's 16 5, but I got now $17,000, 17 bit of $17,000, and 16 5, but I got now 17 to buy, 16 5, but I got now 17, 16, how about 7.5, 16 5, 16,750. 16 pie and 7.5. 16 pie and 16 pounds 7.5 and 7.5 and 16,750. And 16 pie and 16 7.5. 16 pie and 7.5 and 7.5 and 16 pie. 16 7.5 and 10. 16 pie. 16 7.5. 16 pie and 7.5 and 7.5 and 16 pie. 16 7.5. 16 pie and 7.5 and 7.5 and 7.5. Let's take a short break. 16.5. Nate's in. You're all out. You're out on the phone. 16.5. Asking 16 7.5. Hey, we got coffee. We got donuts, I think. If you need to step outside and make a phone call, you're more than welcome to do that. We'll be right back with you here in a couple minutes. $16.5, 16 7.5. I think we've gathered everybody up, ready to go. Auction's back on. 16.5, 7.5. 16 pie bid at 7.5 and 16 pie bid at 7.5. Are we done? 16 pie bid 7.5. 16 pie bid at 16 7.5 and 16 pie bid at 16 7.5. 16 pie bid at 7.5 and 7.5 and 16 pie bid at 16 750 and 16 pie bid at 16 7.5. 16 pie bid at 16 7.5 and 16 pie bid at 7.5 and 16 pie bid at 16 pounds 7.5 and 16 pie bid 7.5. 16 6. Never thought of that. 16 7 and 16 6 bid 7 7 and 16 pounds 7 and 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 pounds 700 and 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 pounds 7 7 and 16 7 and 16 6 now 7. 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 pounds 700 16 6 and 7 and 16 6 16 7. Are we done? 16 6 16 7 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 pounds 7 and 16,006 16,007 and 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 7. Are we done? 16 6 16 7. Where are you going to find one any nicer? 16 6 16 7 16 6 bid 7 and 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 6 and now 7. 16 6 bid at 7 7 16 6 and now 7. 16 7 16 6. Give me 7. 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 6 and now 7 7. Are we done? 16 6 and now 7 7 and 16 pounds 7. 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 pounds and 700 to buy and 16 6 16 7 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 6 16 7. If you're all done, I gotta be. Does anybody need more time? 16 6 16 7 16 6 16 7 16 6 bid at 7 7 and 16 7 16 6 bid 7 with 16 6 50. Help them. Half. 16 6 and a half. 16 6 and a half. 16 6 bid at a half and a 16,650 and 16 6 bid at a half and a 16 now half and a 16 now half and 16 bid at a half and a 16 650 bid at a 16 6 and a half. Last call. 16 650. 16 650. Thank you. 16 7 16 7 16 6 and a half. 16 7 16 pounds 7 and 16 7 7 and 16 pounds 7 and 16 pounds 7 7 to buy 16 7 7 and 16 7 and 16 7 7 and 16 pounds 7 to buy and 16 pounds 7 16 6 and a half bid 7 16 6 and a half and 16 pounds 7 7 and 16 7 and 16 pounds 7. Are we done? 6 7 now half. 16 7 50 16 7 and a half. 16 7 bid half. 16 7 bid and a half and 16 7 now half. 16 7 bid and a half and 16 7 6 7 50. Last call and 16 7 16 7 50. Anybody need more time? 16 7 50. 16 7 16 7 and a half. 16 7 bid half and 16 7 now half and 16 7 50. Last call. Gavels high. 16 7 16 7 50. 16 7 bid half 8 16 8 16 8 16,008. Chris, you're out. 16 8 16 7 and a half and down 16 8 16 pound 8 8 and 16,008 16 7 and a half and 16,800 $8 8 8 16,800 $8 8 16 8 16 7 and a half and 16,800 to buy 16 7 and a half and 16,800 $8 8 16 8 16 7 50 16 8 16 7 and a half and 16,800 $8 8 16 8 16 8 16 7 and a half and 16 8 16 7 and a half and 16,800 to buy and 16 8 8 and 16,800. Are we done? 16 8 16 8 16 7 and a half and 16 8 16 pound 8 8 and 8 now half 16 8 half 16 8 bid half 16 8 bid and a half and 16 8 50 and 16 8 bid and a half and 16 8 bid and a half and 16,850 and 16 bid and 8 and 16,850 bid and 50 bid and 16 850 and 16,008 16,850 16,008 bid 50 bid and 50 bid and 50 bid and 16,008 16,850. Are we done? 16,008 16,850 one time and 16,008 bid 850 bid and 50 bid and 50 bid and 16 8 16 850 16 8 16 850 might not ever be for sale again. 16 8 16 8 and a half 16 8 bid half 16 8 bid and a half and a 16 8 bid and a half. Last call and 16 8 bid and a half and a 16 8 bid and a 16 8 bid and a half. Gavels high. 16 8 16 8 half 16.8 bid, have it, 16.8 bid, now have it, 16.8 bid, now have it, need more time, and 16.8 bid, have it, 16.8 bid, now have it, 16.8, 850, last call, 16.8, 16.850, 16.8 bid, have it, 16.8 bid, now have it, 16.8 bid, now have, going once, 16.8, 16.850, 16.8 bid, have it, 16.8 bid, now have, going twice. Sold the farm, $16,800. Congratulations. Thank you very much to the backup bidder.